Hey, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got myself into this situation. It all started when I sold my NSX and bought this old piece of junk, a 1985 Toyota Corolla GTS. You see, I always wanted an AE86, but it's been a few years now and I think this project has kind of spiraled out of control. We tossed any semblance of a budget out the window when the engine blew, and it's been a rough road ever since. Now thankfully, I've met quite a few friends along the way, and with their support, and yours too if you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, I'll love you forever, things are starting to look up. This car is finally going in for paint soon, and I'll need to undo a lot of the work I've done before to get it ready. Although we've run into a lot of setbacks and challenges along the way, I'm determined to finish this build soon and bring you guys along for the journey. My name's 007, and this is Project 86. Hello my dudes and dudettes, we are approaching a very pivotal moment here in the 86's story. The car is going in for paint very soon, and the shop that's going to be handling all of that work, it's an extensive amount of work it is, has asked me to do a few things to the car before I hand it over to them. Now hopefully you guys have been following along for the build, but we've done everything to this car, from the interior carpets and sound insulation to the door cards to the back here with the custom liner and the roll cage. Well, the mistake that I made initially was I did all of that interior work before we had the roll cage fabricated. It is welded in, and so unfortunately when he did all of the work, I mean, in order to box the car in, he did have to tear up all of the carpet that we had installed in there. So the painter has asked me to remove pretty much all of the interior pieces, including the carpet that we have, which isn't a big deal because it's already kind of ruined. We're gonna get all of this out of there, including the subwoofer and the speakers, the carpet there, the seats, the door cards, because the car is getting extensive paint work done, including the inside, at least as much of the inside that's going to be accessible, as well as the engine bay. The engine is going to come out, and we're going to get extensive service done by the shop next door to the shop that's going to be painting it. It turns out, by total chance, the shop next door to the painters is actually a Toyota specialist. So they're going to be taking the engine out and servicing a lot of the things that I've had issues with, including the custom brake lines that we're going to get done for the big brake install. They're going to install the big brakes for me. They're going to take care of the exhaust rattle. I have a bunch of gaskets that need to be replaced for the intake manifold, the exhaust manifold, tucking in a lot of the wires that are either not necessary to have in the engine bay, or, you know, they're potential problem points in the future. Replacing any hoses and lines that may be old or cracking. I do have an air conditioning line here that I have broken when I was servicing the car myself. So they're going to take care of a lot of stuff while the car is in for paint. So essentially they're going to remove the engine, painter's going to go in and get the entire car painted, and they're going to do all that extensive work and install the engine back in the car. So lots of big work coming up. I'm going to be poor for a while. I'm going to be drinking and eating a lot of cup noodles, it seems, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Project is coming near an end, and I'm so excited to show you guys everything that we have in store for this car. That's enough talking for now. Let's get this thing pretty much torn apart and ready for the painter. Oh, and before I forget, if you guys want to support the channel and pick up some cool merch for yourself or a loved one, make sure to go to driftmerch.com. I'll have that link down in the description box below. I'm actually wearing one of my shirts right now. This is the Drift Kings Drifters Dozen Donuts t-shirt. I got a bunch of other cool designs related to motorsports, cars, video games, and anime. So if you're into that sort of stuff, I'm making more designs all the time. Make sure to check out driftmerch.com. Again, I'll have that link down in the description box below, as well as links to other tools and things like that that I use a lot. If you buy from those, it helps support the channel, and it doesn't cost you any extra. So thanks for the support. All right, we're gonna start off with the trunk. I gotta move this stuff out of the way. This we'll handle later. I'm gonna be test fitting that wing on the trunk to see if it's a suitable option. And those are the new tires that we're gonna have mounted on the white TE37 wheels that we have brand new in boxes sitting in my room for the past God knows how many years now. So I'm gonna get those moved out of the way, and we could get to tearing up all this stuff here. So this custom liner right here that I made from particle board and extra carpet material, I'm just gonna pull this right out, and you can see all the sound insulation that we have. I'll probably be able to salvage this piece in the future. Probably have to trim up some of the sides, and I did want to attach a little handle here with some red vinyl material that I have. It's gonna look pretty nice. It's gonna match the door pulls that we have here. So that's gonna be a cool touch, but that'll be after we get the car painted, because for now, this has to be completely empty back here. Oh wow, we only had one screw holding that in. That is dangerous because this thing is super heavy. Now, anytime I'm doing a disassembly like this, I want to make sure I keep all of the hardware in small little baggies that are labeled with the parts themselves so I don't lose them. It's really easy to get all this stuff out, but then if you don't know how to put it back together or you're missing the hardware, it's going to be a total pain. I'm probably gonna have to upgrade these speakers in the future anyway, since one of them was like blown out and it was causing these weird buzzing noises. So I'm glad I'm removing these now. Just get all this stuff out so they can properly seal the glass, because they are gonna remove all the glass when they paint the car. Oh, gotta remove this as well. We've got a new aluminum panel that's gonna replace that, and I'll need to access the bolts for the wing when I remove that. That kind of hurts because I spent so much time fitting these. If you guys saw that video where I installed the carpet into this car, this stuff took forever to get right. Probably for the best, because I didn't do the best job because I'm not a professional, but maybe we'll have a professional handle that after the paint. We'll see. If I remember correctly, these are just held in with those friction push-in clips. It's just a matter of popping them off carefully so the plastic doesn't break. There we go. Not the most elegant solution, but it's what we got. The roll cage makes it much more difficult. And these fixed bucket seats don't necessarily make maneuvering around in the interior that much easier either. There we go. One piece off. Yeah, anytime you're working on these old cars, you gotta be a little patient so you don't cause more. So you don't cause more problems for yourself down the road. There we go. All right, I think the next logical step here is to get the passenger seat removed. That'll make it easier for me to access the carpet in the back, because that will have to come out as well. And then we can start focusing on the front carpet and all that jazz. Now, I have gotten this asked in the past because these seats in factory form don't actually fit this car. These are super wide Evo 2 Sparco seats. And to get these to fit properly, as well as my height, because I am 6'3", I did have to get custom brackets fabricated. So these are literally fixed position, fixed back bucket seats that have pretty much the most headroom you could possibly have with a bucket seat of this design. And they're nice and wide too. So if you're a big boy or girl, you'll fit just fine. I remember how much of a pain these seats were to get in the car. It's so much easier taking them out. All right, I remember there was one problematic bolt back here. How do I access that? Probably gonna have to crawl back there. I don't want to do that though. Spoke too soon. I spoke too soon about this being easy. I think I'm gonna need a ratcheting wrench is what I'm gonna need. This guy right here, very useful for getting into a tight space when you can't get a socket wrench in there. This thing is great. Part of working on cars and making it less of an annoying experience is actually having the right tools for the job. I get asked this a lot. They're like, how'd you get into working on cars and stuff? And I mean, I don't do this professionally, but it is 90% of it is having the right tool. And the other 10% or so is just being patient with the process, taking your time, making sure you don't break anything. I've had a lot of cases where I've caused more problems for myself than would have been necessary just because I rushed through it or I wasn't in the right headspace. So make sure you take a step back and try to enjoy it, because that's what this is all about, right? Why else would you be doing this? It's not a logical pursuit, not by any means. All right, let's get you out of there. Seat numero uno is out of the car. Oh, great, the mosquitoes are back. We got a little bit of a cooler weather here in California these past few days and they hadn't shown up, but looks like they're back. And with a vengeance, they're everywhere now. Might have to go wear some long pants. Well, that was a lot easier than putting it in the car, that's for sure. Some really nice quality work here. Really happy with the half cage that we got installed. I just kind of wish we did extend it up front to stiffen up the front of the car as well. But looks good. It's gonna look really nice once it's nice and painted with the harnesses and the seats in and with a fresh carpet. And oh my god, I have so much work to do on this car. The cool thing about this cage is it also doubles as a cool support for the camera. I'm probably gonna get some type of GoPro mount or something for that for track days. I think it'd be really cool. Might even mount the fire extinguisher to it if it's not gonna be up by the passenger footwell area. Might just mount it there and have quick access. I don't know. I guess we'll find out once the harnesses are in the car and everything's nice and tidied up. It's gonna be one of the final steps, I think, just to have a fire extinguisher for those just in case moments. Sometimes you just need a normal wrench. And sometimes you need an extension on an extension. I have not seen the car this stripped out for a long time. Before we even got the cage put in and the new engine and all that other work is the last time I put that carpet in. Sucks to take everything apart, especially when you put that much time, effort, and money into it, but it's part of the process, part of the learning process. I've definitely learned a lot installing all of this. This is all stuff that I put. Forgot if it was in the second episode ever of Project 86 or what, but all this sound insulation, we stripped it all out with that dry ice and put this new stuff on, including the carpet. So back to square one, kind of, but not really. You got to move backwards to move forwards. Philosophy. Let's get those door cards off and we should be pretty much ready. Just got to put the driver's seat back in with the seatbelt brace. That's crazy how it's so thin. You could see floor from here, like the actual floor of my backyard. There's not much going on with these cars, just thin sheet metal and an engine. That's why it literally feels like you're hanging onto the engine when you're driving. It's such a raw feeling, even more so with no carpet. Sound insulation helps quite a bit though. I really like these T3 door panels. They're super easy to put on and I've gotten a lot of compliments on them. I love these door pulls as well. Nice quality, everything is nice and sturdy. I mean, it's aluminum, really simple. Looks like a classic race car. The only real tricky part with these door handles and these knobs right here for the window crank is that there's a small retaining clip. You gotta make sure when it does fly out, you don't lose it. You might be able to, no, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna need a thinner screwdriver to get to that without messing up any of the finish on these nice door panels. Got it. See? This is what I'm talking about. These little guys. Don't lose that.
He is the one.
It always feels like they're breaking, but that's just these clips coming out. These guys. It's just a protruding piece of plastic with a metal retainer on it, and that's pretty much applying friction to these little slots and keeps the part in. Look at that. We went from semi-complete car to totally stripped down interior. Here's what it looks like with the panel off. This guy is the small motor for the rear wiper. I haven't decided if I'm gonna keep the rear wiper or not. Seems like it'd be a waste to get rid of it since it does work and the button up front does activate it, so that is a nice feature to have. It just looks kind of clunky. It is an 80s design, I guess. The next thing to determine is if we're gonna keep this GTS wing. I've never been the biggest fan of it, to be honest. It does match the rear bumper. The options I'm going through, we've got three options. One is to keep this guy on the car. Another is to take this off and run without the spoiler. And the other is the TRD spoiler right here. Now, in order to see how this fits, this one is unique in that it retains the hole for the rear key as well as the wiper. So I'll have to take the spoiler off and test fit that on there. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below which one you prefer. I think the TRD spoiler would look pretty sick. It just might be a bit of work for the paint and body guys to get on the car nice and flush. I would want it molded onto the hatch if I did have that installed. I think that would be the cleaner look. A lot of people put rivets and I'm not a big fan of the rivet look, especially since we're gonna get this thing nice with perfect paint and body work all around. Let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Here's what it looks like without the GTS wing. Now, if we did go this route, I would have the body guys patch up all these holes and make it nice and smooth. It looks a bit naked after what we've gotten used to with this car. Now let's get the TRD spoiler put on this and see how that looks. Yeah, I'm not able to get this rear wiper blade off the car to test the spoiler, so I think that's gonna have to wait till later. All right guys, we're back inside my home office. I was losing daylight, it's getting dark outside, and I couldn't get that pesky rear wiper arm bolt off. So I'm gonna put some pictures up on the screen. Let me know what you guys think. Which spoiler would you go with? The TRD spoiler, the OEM GTS spoiler, or no spoiler at all? I think the spoiler-free look, spoilerless look, looks best with the Panda paint scheme. So I'm not sure what color I'm gonna go with and which spoiler I'm gonna choose to run with at the end, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below.
Day 2.
Time to get these brand new Falcon Azenis RT 615K Plus tires mounted onto my brand new TE37 wheels. That's a mouthful. These are great tires. I've ran these on my old 2.5 RS as well as the new 2.5 RS that we have. These are in 195, 60, 14, and we're going to mount them onto a 7-inch wheel, so it's going to be nice and thick, provide a lot of traction for track use, and it's going to give it that cool look compared to these factory wheels that are on the car, especially when we give it the drop and the car gets painted. It's going to look nice. I've had these brand new raised wheels sitting in boxes for a few years now, waiting to get mounted onto the car, and finally we're getting around to them. These are 14x7 plus 0 offset TE37s finished in dash white. These are one of my dream sets of wheels. I used to always see them on Japanese project cars, on those old school racing videos on the Toge, and bam, now we have them for our car. I really think this is a timeless look. It's super functional with how lightweight these forged wheels are, and you really can't beat the Ray's engineering quality when it comes to a forged wheel from Japan. I think these are pretty much top of the food chain when it comes to wheels. Now, the added 7-inch width on these is going to be really nice. It's going to give the car a nice thick and meaty look with the tires mounted on there, and they're really actually lighter than the factory wheels that we have on the car now. So it's just function and form in one wheel. I really love these things. It's one of my dream wheels that I've always wanted, and I can't wait to get these guys mounted on the car, see how they look. If you guys are in the Los Angeles area and need any sort of tire work done, make sure to call Hector at Smokin' Tires. He works on everything from Corollas to Lamborghinis, and I trust him with all of my cars. He's gonna treat your car with the care and respect it deserves. He's not paying me to promote him or anything, he's just a super cool guy and a local small business that's helped me out a lot with my project cars, and I'd love to send some business his way. So if you check him out, make sure to let him know that Sevon from YouTube sent you over. Darn. I forgot to put the seat back in. Well, hot diggity. That looks good.